Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're really getting into something critical for many professionals worldwide. We're looking at how to navigate high-stakes language tests.
That's right, specifically for healthcare.
Exactly. Think of this as a shortcut, a way to get well-informed about a resource designed for success in, well, very specific professional settings. Our source today is Kompleksowy Przewodnik OET dla Profesjonalistów Medycznych. Now, that translates from Polish to a comprehensive guide to the OET.
And the OET, just to be clear, is the Occupational English Test.
Right. A really vital qualification for doctors, nurses, pharmacists, anyone in healthcare aiming to work in an English-speaking country.
And our mission here really is to pull out the most valuable insights, the practical strategies from this guide. We want to give you, our listener, a kind of roadmap.
Not just for passing a test, though.
No, not at all. It's about genuinely mastering medical English. Building that confidence you need for actual day-to-day professional practice. It's much more about strategy and skill than just, memorizing words.
Okay, so let's start at the beginning then. What exactly is the OET and who is this guy really for? Because it sounds quite different from, say, a general English exam.
It absolutely is.
Yeah.
The OET is specifically designed for healthcare professionals. So this guide, it speaks directly to nurses, doctors, dentists, physios, pharmacists, allied health professionals too.
A wide range.
A very wide range within healthcare. The whole point is making sure they can communicate effectively and, importantly, safely in an English-speaking medical environment.
And which parts of the world really require this? Where is the OET essential? I'm guessing places needing skilled medical people.
You've got it. It's crucial for getting registered to practice or for work placements in places like the UK, Australia, New Zealand, Ireland, Singapore too.
Okay.
And the guide, it tackles all four parts of the test: listening, reading, writing, and speaking. The aim is to build that solid confidence in medical English right across the board.
What I found interesting, though, reading about the guide, is that its audience seems wider than just people cramming for the test itself. Who else might pick this up and find it genuinely useful?
Oh, it's surprisingly versatile.
Yeah.
Yeah, beyond the direct test takers, it's really helpful for any non-native English speaker who's already got, say, a B2 level intermediate, but needs to seriously sharpen their language.
For those specific contexts.
Exactly.
Yeah.
For professional use, academic settings, and especially those crucial patient interactions. It's also designed for, busy doctors or nurses who need an efficient study plan, something focused.
Right, fitting it around shifts and everything else.
Precisely. And it works well for self-learners too, people who want clear explanations and tools to check their own progress. We've even heard from teachers and tutors of medical English who use its structure.
Okay, that makes sense. Now, behind any great guide, there's usually a unique perspective. And the author here, Dr. Helen Marshall, well, her background seems particularly powerful for this topic. What is it about her that makes this guide stand out?
It's quite remarkable, actually. Dr. Marshall has this dual expertise. She's a practicing hospital pharmacist.
Okay, so she's on the ground.
Right, she knows the clinical reality, but she's also an accredited OET examiner. So she sees it from both sides, the real-world need and the assessment criteria.
Wow, that is a strong combination.
Isn't it? And her credentials back it up. A master's in applied linguistics from Cambridge. She's been on OET development panels in London and Sydney, plus over 15 years teaching English for specific purposes, ESP.
So that blend, clinical reality plus deep linguistic knowledge, how does that shape her teaching approach? She calls it can-do, step-by-step. Sounds practical.
It is, and that's really key. Her approach isn't just about throwing practice tests at you. She breaks down every question type. She teaches the underlying skills, linguistic skills, cognitive strategies, even exam techniques.
So understanding how the test works, not just what's in it.
Exactly. Then she walks you through practice exercises that build up gradually scaffolded practice, she calls it. And crucially, she pushes you to reflect, to figure out your own errors and self-correct.
So it's not just, here's the answer key.
No, it's, here's why this strategy works and here's how you can adapt it to your own way of thinking. For example, a common issue is candidates speaking too much in the role plays. They think more is better.
Right, trying to show off vocabulary?
Maybe, yeah. But Dr. Marshall's method shows how actually precision and being concise, like in a real clinical chat, often scores better. That can be a real eye-opener.
So she's teaching effective clinical communication as the way to succeed in the test. That makes sense. And her practical experience, teaching and examining, must give her huge insights into where people usually stumble.
Absolutely. She's taught thousands of candidates in Europe, Asia, Australia, so she's seen all sorts of learning styles. But examining real OET scripts, real role plays, that gives her this incredible understanding of common mistakes.
She knows what the examiners are looking for.
And what they don't want to see. She knows the marking criteria inside out. She's even published academic papers on teaching medical vocabulary effectively, pronunciation for doctors, study skills. It's all grounded in what actually works in practice.
Okay, so this guide is clearly more than just tips and tricks. It sounds like a really solid framework. Let's get into the actionable stuff. How does Dr. Marshall recommend you actually use the book to get the best results? Where do you start?
Right. The first step, she says, is Chapter 3, the diagnostic assessment. Don't skip this.
Why is it so important?
Because it helped you figure out your strengths and, crucially, your weaknesses before you dive in. It means you can target your effort right from the start, saves time, makes your study much more efficient.
Okay, diagnose first, and then for that busy practitioner we talked about, the structure helps.
Massively. That's step 2. Adopt a modular approach. The chapters listening, reading, writing, speaking, they're self-contained.
So you don't have to go cover to cover?
Not at all. Each has clear goals, even estimates for study time. If writing's your weak spot, jump straight into the writing chapter. It's really flexible, which is perfect if your time is limited or unpredictable.
That sounds genuinely useful, but how do you make sure you're actually learning, not just reading? How does the guide push you to engage actively? That's step 3, right?
Yes, active engagement is critical. The guide tells you, don't just read the model answers. First, try the task yourself. And do it under timed conditions.
Simulate the pressure a bit.
Exactly. Then you compare your attempt to the annotated model answer. And you use the self-assessment checklist provided to really pinpoint where you went wrong or what you did well. It's like doing a post-mortem on your own work. Very active, very comparative.
That sounds intense, but effective. And for self-learners, step 4 is about reflection and recording, keeping a journal.
Yeah, maintaining a study journal is highly recommended. After each session, jot down new words, strategies that worked for you, mistakes you keep making.
Things to work on next time.
Precisely. And action plans for your next study block. It builds this personal map of your progress and your specific hurdles.
Now, step 5 involves feedback, especially if you have a study buddy or a tutor. How does the guide suggest using that? Something about examiner rubrics.
This is really smart. It encourages you to swap written tasks, do mock role plays together. But the key is how you give feedback. The guide provides the official examiner's rubrics in Chapter 7.
The actual scoring guides.
Essentially, yes, the detailed criteria. So you use those to assess each other's work. It gives you structured, objective feedback, almost like being an examiner yourself. It really tunes you into what they're looking for.
That sounds incredibly valuable, getting inside the examiner's head, almost. Then step 6, simulating the real thing.
Crucial. Completing the full practice tests in Chapter 8 under strict exam conditions. Timing, silence, the whole setup.
Why is that so vital? Reduces panic on the day.
Absolutely. It builds stamina, first off. These tests are long, but mostly it reduces test day anxiety. It makes the real thing feel familiar, less intimidating, like a dress rehearsal, as you said earlier. You wouldn't skip that.
Makes sense. And finally, step 7 is, don't forget the back of the book, the appendices.
Definitely don't overlook them.
Right.
They're designed for quick lookups, last-minute revision. You've got lists of medical terms, useful phrases for speaking and writing, even a grammar refresher. Really handy resources.
Okay, so if we pull all that together, what's the core philosophy here? What's the big message from this guide about how to succeed?
I think it boils down to this. Consistent, deliberate practice combined with really targeted reflective strategies. That's the absolute key to hitting your OET goals. It's about working smart, strategically, not just putting in endless hours aimlessly.
So this deep dive really shows a very carefully built approach. It comes from someone, Dr. Marshall, who has this unique viewpoint, straddling medicine and language testing. Yep. It underlines that succeeding in these high-stakes professional language situations, it's not just about knowing English generally. It's about precision, it's about confidence, and it's about very specific communication skills tailored to the field.
And if you step back and look at the bigger picture, it really highlights how this kind of systematic, reflective, feedback-driven learning, well, it's a powerful way to achieve mastery in almost any complex skill, wouldn't you say? Not just language tests.
That's a great point. It's a blueprint for effective learning itself, which leads to a final thought for you, the listener. Beyond the OET, beyond even language learning, how could these principles, diagnosis, modular learning, active practice, reflection, simulation, How could they apply to mastering something new and complex in your own life or career? Something to think about.
Definitely food for thought.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive.